Yes.
We have seen progress in peace negotiations either stalled for a year or more when Israeli governments fall and new elections are called, or reversed entirely when a new government creates a coalition and takes power.
Yes.
Is there any way that genuine movement and progress can be made under the current system without requiring the long and harmful delay of new elections? Or does the public have to turn out the incumbent government and vote in a new one for new policies to be adopted?
Usually in the so-called peace process, there are two threats: the elections in Israel and the elections in the United States. I did not say the elections in any Arab country because usually they are not. They should not be a threat because there is a continuation of the system. There should be, in a democratic state, there should be a continuation of the system. That's why the American administration, the new American administration, asked Mr. Netanyahu to renew the talks from the point it stopped between Olmert and President Abbas. He said totally no. He said, I do not recognize these talks. That was his answer. He said, this is a new government. Every time there is Israeli elections, a new government, the situation is starting almost from zero. Now we are starting almost from zero. That's why it is very important if the American administration will say we are starting from that point. If Netanyahu will accept this principle, not the proximity talks will be there, direct talks will be there. I am sure of that. Direct talks, if there is a renewal of the talks and negotiation from that point of Olmert Abbas, there will be direct negotiations, not proximity talks. And the proximity talks, nobody believes that we are going for breakthrough in these negotiations. Mr. Abbas President Abbas from one side, and even Netanyahu said, especially the Arab side and the Arab League, and President Mahmoud Abbas said yes for proximity talks in order to give President Barack Obama a chance to try to facilitate something. And he is being rejected by the Israeli government and by Benjamin Netanyahu. I am not sure that this kind of government at all is willing to go forward in a serious and sincere process to have two-state solution.
Does the Prime Minister of Israel have the option of reshuffling his cabinet to change the complexion of his government in a way that might encourage the genuine peace talks?
At any time, the Israeli Prime Minister can change his coalition. At any time. He can ask Lieberman to leave his office and to change the coalition by bringing Tzipi Livni and Kadima. From the very beginning, he chose to have this kind of coalition by Lieberman and Eli Yishai. We are talking a lot about Lieberman, but Eli Yishai is not less fascist and radical. He is rejecting any idea of dealing about Jerusalem, of bringing Jerusalem to the table, not arriving to a settlement on Jerusalem, just to bring Jerusalem to the table. He is saying no to Netanyahu. He is the leader of Shas, religious Eastern Jewish party. Netanyahu is leaking all the time that the pressure from Washington is aimed mainly to change his coalition, and he is refusing. That's why he is willing to keep this kind of coalition. And if you are keeping this kind of coalition, you are sending a message that you are totally rejecting two-state solution.
Palestinians have a new project now with building of the state. Prime Minister Fayyad
yes.
under Abu Mazen, they're building. What do you think of this 2-year, now a year and a half down the road project?
I think that this project led by Prime Minister Salam Fayyad and supported by President Mahmoud Abbas is a courageous project. The man is sincere, courageous, systematic, working on the ground day by day. And I am very much aware that in the last 3 or 4 months, he is being tackled by Israeli obstacles, not only by Lieberman. Lieberman declared that this is a dangerous program and project by Salam Fayyad and supported by President Mahmoud Abbas. They are afraid of a peaceful project in order to construct in the future independent Palestinian state. In the same time, they are saying no to the resistance to the occupation, to the public, peaceful resistance to occupation. They are very much upset and angry about Prime Minister Fayyad because he is taking part in some demonstration in Bil'in and in other places. They send messages to the Palestinian Authority that he is violating the rules. President Abbas said, I am supporting also popular resistance. He should be there. The Central Committee members should be there of Fatah. And in the last weeks, they are there, and they are being attacked. The only violence in Bil'in is not Palestinian violence. It's the army violence. Demonstrators are being shot, or by gas, or by rubber bullets, or by fire. Some were killed in these demonstrations. I think this plan should be continued and supported.
Ahmad, do you have time for a few more questions?
Yes.
I think the gentleman here and the gentleman next to him. And then,
I'm Wayne Morrow. Thank you very much for your thoughts and times. Like a whole lot of Americans, we sure would like to see peace in that area. Do you think that it is at all possible in some form of having peace in there if the Palestinians gain autonomy, but the Israelis hang on to sovereignty?
Are you, as American, willing to have only autonomy without sovereignty?
Autonomy?
Yes.
Self-ruling for the most part, up until it...
As an American,
Yes.
do you accept
Yes.
as yourself living only in self-autonomy with who is ruling superpower? Somebody else ruling you or dominating you or sovereign to you, for example? No. The answer is totally no. The Palestinians are a nation, are people who are struggling in order to be free. Sovereignty is the implementation of freedom after occupation. Without sovereignty, there will be no peace, no stability. If there will be no stability in Nablus or in Jenin, there will be no stability in Tel Aviv. That's why we should all support putting an end to occupation. We have already dealt with and had autonomy before 20 or 15 years. Now we are talking about in-state solution, which is independent Palestinian state, sovereignty, and freedom, and independence. Thank you very much.